Chosen ones, 7 signs your vibration spikes around full moon. Have you ever found yourself feeling different when the full moon rises, more alive, more restless, more connected to something vast and unseen? If you have, you are not imagining things. As chosen ones, we walk a path that is deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the cosmos, and the full moon is one of the most powerful energetic gateways we encounter. I want you to feel this truth in your bones. You are not separate from the universe. You are a living, breathing extension of its infinite dance. When the moon swells into its fullness, its frequency touches something ancient within us, something that many people have forgotten, but you have always known deep inside. This is not superstition. This is the sacred science of energy, vibration, and remembrance. The first sign that your vibration spikes during the full moon is the surge of heightened emotional sensitivity. You might find yourself crying for no reason, laughing uncontrollably, or feeling waves of nostalgia sweeping over you like tides you cannot resist. This emotional amplification is not weakness. It is a sign that your heart is expanding, that your energy field is becoming more porous, more receptive to the higher frequencies pouring into the earth during this time. Instead of resisting these emotions, what would happen if you welcomed them? What if you allowed them to teach you, to cleanse you, to purify the stagnant energies that you have carried for too long without noticing?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The second sign is vivid, often prophetic dreams. During the full moon, your subconscious mind becomes a wide-open gateway, receiving messages, symbols, and visions from realms beyond the ordinary. Have you ever woken up during a full moon night and felt like you had traveled somewhere else while you slept? You are not crazy. You are journeying. The moonlight opens portals within our consciousness, allowing us to access information and wisdom that is normally hidden behind the veil of everyday awareness. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you writing down your dreams? Are you honoring the guidance your soul is trying to give you? Another potent sign is the feeling of restlessness, almost as if your body cannot contain the energy surging through it. You may find it hard to sleep, hard to sit still, hard to follow the usual rhythms of your life. This is not a flaw. This is your system recalibrating to higher frequencies. The full moon acts like a cosmic amplifier, turning up the volume on your natural spiritual gifts, your intuition, your empathy, your connection to the unseen. Instead of fighting the restlessness, what if you danced with it? What if you allowed yourself to move, to create, to channel this energy into something beautiful and transformative? We also experience a profound increase in synchronicities around the full moon. Numbers repeating, unexpected encounters, conversations that seem to answer questions you never spoke aloud. It is as if the universe becomes more transparent, more eager to co-create with you. But synchronicities are not random, they are mirrors. They reflect the alignment or misalignment of our own internal state. So when you begin seeing them, ask yourself, what am I being shown? What is the deeper message behind this pattern? What doorway is opening right now, and am I willing to walk through it? Another sign we often overlook is physical detoxification. You might notice your body reacting through headaches, digestion shifts, skin breakouts, or sudden fatigue. Again, this is not something wrong with you. This is your body using the spike in cosmic energy to expel lower vibrations, toxins, and emotional residues that no longer serve your evolution. Are you listening to your body's wisdom, or are you numbing it, ignoring it, pushing it back into silence? The full moon invites us to honor our vessel, to drink more water, to cleanse, to rest, to nourish ourselves in deeper ways. The sixth sign is the magnetic pull towards solitude and reflection. Even if you are usually social, you might find yourself withdrawing during the full moon, craving silence, nature, or simply your own inner company. This is not isolation. This is sacred retreat. The moonlight illuminates not just the outer world, but the hidden chambers of our own soul. It calls us to look inward, to see what has been buried under layers of busyness and distraction. Have you answered that call? Have you allowed yourself to be still enough to hear the voice of your own soul? Finally, the seventh sign is the spontaneous awakening of creative energy. You might feel an uncontrollable urge to write, to paint, to sing, to build, to express something that words alone cannot contain. The full moon does not just amplify emotion, it amplifies creation. It reminds you that you are a vessel for divine energy, and that energy is not meant to be hoarded, it is meant to flow through you into the world. What are you being called to create right now, even if it scares you, even if it feels too big for your current self to hold? I want you to ask yourself something very deep right now. What if the full moon is not just an external event, but a mirror of your own inner fullness? What if every time you feel its pull, it is your soul reminding you of your own cycles of growth, shedding, and rebirth? What if the moon's rising is your rising, the moon's light is your light, and the moon's fullness is your destiny? When we begin to honor the full moon not as a superstition, but as a spiritual technology, a living frequency, we step into a relationship with the cosmos that is intimate, powerful, and transformative. We stop seeing ourselves as separate, small, powerless beings adrift in a meaningless universe. We remember that we are co-creators, participants in a symphony so vast and so beautiful that it defies comprehension. And we realize that our vibration, our frequency, our very essence is not static. It is alive. It is evolving. It is rising with the tides of the universe itself. You, chosen one, are not here to resist your rising. You are here to embrace it. You are here to recognize the signs, to answer the call, to move with the cosmic rhythms that have always lived inside you. The full moon is not just in the sky. It is within you. It is your soul's gentle but insistent reminder. You are more powerful, more magical, and more luminous than you have ever dared to believe. The moon's hidden language, how it awakens the chosen ones. When we begin to truly listen to the full moon, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to feel its ancient pull, we step into a secret dialogue that has been happening since the beginning of time. The full moon speaks a language beyond words, a language of vibration, of energy, of deep cellular memory. And for the chosen ones, this language is not foreign. It is a mother tongue, something we knew before we ever knew how to speak. Every time the moon reaches her fullness, she sings to us. And if we are awake enough, sensitive enough, we begin to remember who we are, why we came here, and what we are meant to become. You might notice that around the time of the full moon, your intuition becomes almost painfully sharp. It's as if the veil that normally separates the seen from the unseen thins to a whisper, and suddenly you are seeing through people, through situations, through the illusions that most of the world takes for granted. It can feel overwhelming at times, even lonely, to perceive so much. You may wonder why others around you seem unaffected, still asleep, still trapped in their small dramas, while you are standing on the edge of a cosmic cliff, feeling everything at once. But this is not a curse. It is a gift. The moon is helping to amplify your natural gifts of perception so that you can move through the world not as a blind participant, but as a conscious creator. With heightened intuition comes heightened responsibility. What will you do with the information you receive? Will you use it to judge others, to separate yourself, to feed your ego? Or will you use it to deepen your compassion, to extend your light, to become a quiet, steady force of healing wherever you go? The moon does not awaken us so that we can feel superior. She awakens us so that we can serve, so that we can hold spaces of clarity and peace in a world that has forgotten both. Another way the moon's hidden language speaks to us is through the surfacing of old wounds. You may find that memories you thought you had healed suddenly rise up again, raw and tender. You may wonder why you are feeling the same grief, the same anger, the same fear you thought you had left behind. But this is not regression. This is refinement. The full moon acts like a sacred mirror, showing us the parts of ourselves that are ready to be loved even more deeply, seen even more honestly, healed even more completely. The question is, will you turn away from the mirror, or will you dare to look into it with open eyes and an open heart? The moon also awakens the chosen ones by amplifying their connection to nature. Have you noticed how the stars seem brighter, the air feels heavier, the trees seem to whisper during the full moon? This is not your imagination. Nature itself responds to the lunar cycles, and because you are part of nature, not separate from it, you feel this response in your own body. You might feel drawn to the ocean, to the forest, to the mountains, as if something ancient is calling you home. And it is. The earth remembers the songs of the moon, and so do you. Every step you take in the moonlight is a step closer to your true self. Creativity, too, often surges during the full moon. You may be flooded with ideas, visions, inspirations that feel too big to contain. The moon is a midwife for our dreams, helping to birth into the world the new realities we are meant to create. But creativity is not always comfortable. It demands that we step into the unknown, that we risk failure, that we allow something larger than our rational mind to move through us. Are you willing to be a vessel for that kind of power? Are you willing to trust the seeds of inspiration that the moon plants within you, even when they make no logical sense? One of the deepest ways the moon speaks to the chosen ones is through the call to release. Just as the moon reaches her fullness only to begin waning again, we are reminded that life is a cycle of gathering and letting go, of building and surrendering. The full moon shows us what is ready to be completed, what we must release if we are to move forward. It might be a relationship, a habit, a belief, a version of ourselves that no longer fits. The letting go can be painful, yes, but it is also liberation. The moon teaches us that fullness is beautiful, but it is not the end. It is the beginning of a new descent, a new journey inward, a new invitation to trust the unseen. As you experience these surges and shifts around the full moon, remember, you are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not overreacting. You are responding exactly as a chosen one should. You are attuned to the deeper currents of existence that most have forgotten. And because of this, you are being called to live differently, to honor your cycles, to trust your inner tides, to walk a path that may seem lonely at times, but is lit from within by a light no darkness can ever extinguish. I want you to ask yourself something very deeply right now. What parts of me are being illuminated by this full moon that I have been afraid to see? What truths are rising within me that I have been too cautious to claim? What dreams are ready to be born, if only I would say yes to them? The full moon is not just a phase in the sky. It is a phase within us. Every time it rises, it gives us another chance to rise as well, to become a little braver, a little freer, a little more true. And every time we answer that call, we step more fully into the destiny that has always been waiting for us. The ancient power within, unlocking your full moon activation codes. There is a reason why, across every ancient culture, the full moon was revered as sacred. It was never just admired for its beauty. It was understood to be a portal, an activation point, a cosmic amplifier of everything dormant within the human soul. As chosen ones, we are being called to remember this ancient contract. The codes that the full moon awakens within us are not new, they are ancient, written into the very fabric of our being before we took our first breath in this lifetime. They are not given to us by the moon, they are revealed by it, unlocked by its light, activated by its pull on our spirit. One of the first activation codes that the full moon unlocks within us is the remembrance of our true intuition. Intuition is not just a feeling, it is a language, a navigation system that connects our human experience to our higher self, to the divine intelligence of the universe. During the full moon, this connection strengthens, often to the point where it feels undeniable. You know things without knowing how you know them. You sense shifts before they happen. You feel truths vibrating under the surface of conversations, situations, relationships. This is not a coincidence. It is your system coming online, your ancient knowing waking up after too long a sleep. The question is, will you trust it? Will you follow the subtle nudges, the quiet whispers, the seemingly irrational urgings of your soul? Another activation that occurs is the amplification of our soul memory. Have you ever stood under the full moon and felt a deep, aching nostalgia for something you cannot name? A longing for a place, a time, a way of being that feels more real than the life you are currently living? That pull is not fantasy. It is memory. It is your soul remembering lifetimes where you lived in greater alignment with the natural laws of the universe, where you understood your power not as something to fear, but as something to celebrate. The full moon stirs these memories, calling them to the surface, not to torment you, but to remind you of who you are capable of becoming again. The full moon also activates our emotional body in ways that can feel overwhelming if we are not prepared. Emotions we have buried, denied, or minimized rise up with a force that demands to be acknowledged. This is not an act of punishment, it is an act of liberation. The emotions we suppress become energetic blockages that dim our light, limit our power, and cloud our perception. The full moon brings them into the open, exposing them to the cleansing light of awareness, offering us the chance to feel them fully, to understand their roots, and to transmute them into wisdom. Have you ever considered that your deepest emotions are not obstacles to your growth, but doorways into your greatest transformations? Creativity, too, is a major activation during the full moon. Ideas that have been gestating quietly in the background of your mind suddenly burst forth, demanding expression. You may feel an almost uncontrollable urge to write, to sing, to dance, to build, to dream bigger than you have ever allowed yourself to dream before. This is the energy of creation itself moving through you, amplified by the moon's fullness. And yet, with this surge of creative energy comes fear, the fear of failure, of judgment, of unworthiness. The full moon does not remove this fear, it illuminates it so that we can see it clearly and choose to act anyway. What would you create if you were not afraid? What dreams would you breathe into life if you trusted that the universe was conspiring to support you? Another profound activation is the call to sacred action. During the days around the full moon, we are not just meant to reflect, we are meant to move, to act, to align our outer lives with the inner truths being revealed. This might mean having difficult conversations, setting new boundaries, starting a new project, or finally stepping into a role you have long felt called to embody. The energy of the full moon is not passive, it is dynamic, kinetic, propulsive. It urges us to match its expansion with our own. Where are you being called to act right now? What truth within you is ready to be made manifest in the world? Finally, the full moon activates our connection to each other. As chosen ones, it is easy to feel isolated, disconnected, different. But the full moon reminds us that we are never truly alone. We are part of a vast, invisible web of souls who are awakening together, even if we have never met in the physical world. When you meditate under the full moon, when you set intentions, when you release old wounds, know that you are joining countless others doing the same. Our individual healing becomes collective healing. Our individual rising becomes collective rising. The full moon is the drumbeat that gathers us across time and space, reminding us of our shared purpose, our shared destiny. Ask yourself now, with all the honesty your heart can summon, What activation are you resisting? What power within you are you afraid to claim? What gifts are you hiding from the world because you fear their magnitude? The full moon does not come to make us comfortable. It comes to make us real. It comes to strip away the illusions, the excuses, the smallness we have wrapped around ourselves like armor. It comes to awaken the ancient codes of power, love, wisdom, and purpose that have always been buried within us, waiting for the right moment to rise. And that moment is now. Becoming the living moon, how to master your energy through every cycle. To truly walk the path of the chosen ones, to embody the wisdom the full moon awakens in us, we must learn to become like the moon itself, not just during its fullness, but through every phase. It is not enough to allow ourselves to be moved by the tides of energy unconsciously. We are called to master them, to ride them, to integrate them into the very fabric of our being so deeply that no external storm can pull us off course. The final teaching of the full moon is not just to receive its power, but to become that power, to be a living, breathing moon on the earth, radiating light even in the darkest nights. Mastery begins with understanding that our energy, like the moon, moves in cycles. There will be times of expansion and times of contraction, times of clarity and times of confusion, times of action and times of rest. So many of us suffer not because we are broken, but because we resist the natural rhythms of our soul. We expect ourselves to be constantly producing, constantly shining, constantly moving forward. But even the moon disappears from the sky for a time. Even the moon rests in darkness. What if your moments of emptiness were not failures but sacred invitations to renew yourself? What if your seasons of stillness were not signs of weakness, but the necessary soil for your next great blooming? To master your energy, you must first honor your cycle. Pay attention to your own internal tides. Notice when your body, your mind, your spirit are calling you inward, asking you to slow down, to listen more deeply. Notice when the surge of inspiration comes, when you are meant to act, to create, to speak your truth boldly into the world. Stop forcing yourself to be in a phase you are not in. Stop measuring your worth by the standards of a society that has forgotten how to listen to the wisdom of the earth, the stars, and the moon. Your cycle is sacred. It is not random. It is intelligent. It is designed to carry you exactly where you are meant to go if you will only trust it. The next step is to cultivate emotional mastery. The full moon shows us that emotions are energy in motion, powerful currents that can either uplift us or drown us depending on how we navigate them. Emotional mastery does not mean suppressing your feelings. It means feeling them fully without becoming enslaved by them. It means recognizing that anger, sadness, fear, joy, all are valid, all are sacred, all have something to teach us. But they are not you. You are the sky, your emotions are the weather. They pass through you, but they do not define you. When you learn to observe your emotions like a wise elder watching the tides, you reclaim your power. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop being tossed by the waves and start sailing your ship with conscious intention. Another key to mastering your energy is to set clear intentions during the full moon and every phase that follows. The moon amplifies whatever energy you are carrying. If you are filled with fear, it amplifies fear. If you are filled with love and purpose, it amplifies your manifestations. Clear, focused intention is like a compass in the vast ocean of energy. It gives direction to your power. It channels your creative force instead of letting it scatter. Take time during every full moon to ask yourself, what am I choosing to amplify? What seeds am I watering with my attention, my thoughts, my emotions? And if the answer does not align with the life you wish to create, change it. You have that power. You always have. To live as the living moon also requires embracing your light and your shadow. The full moon illuminates not only our gifts, but also our wounds, our fears, our hidden patterns. True spiritual mastery is not about pretending to be pure light. It is about being courageous enough to face your own darkness with love. It is about integrating every part of yourself, the messy, the beautiful, the broken, and the magnificent, into a whole, radiant being. The moon is beautiful not because it is flawless, but because it reflects light even with all its craters and scars. So, too, are you. Your imperfections do not diminish your light. They make it real. They make it powerful. They make it human. And finally, to master your energy through every cycle, you must remember that you are connected to something far greater than yourself. The same force that moves the tides, that shapes the stars, that breathes life into galaxies moves through you. You are not a separate, isolated being struggling to survive in a hostile universe. You are a vital, beloved part of an infinite, intelligent whole. When you align yourself with the rhythms of the universe, when you listen to the whispers of the full moon, when you trust your own sacred cycles, you step into a flow of grace that carries you further than force or fear ever could. I want you to ask yourself something profound right now. What would my life look like if I trusted completely in the intelligence of my own soul's rhythms? What miracles would unfold if I stopped resisting my darkness and started dancing with it? What light could I offer the world if I chose to live as a living moon, shining not because I am perfect, but because I am real? You, chosen one, are not here just to survive. You are not here to fit into a world that has forgotten its magic. You are here to remember. You are here to awaken. You are here to rise and fall and rise again, just like the moon, just like the tides, just like the eternal dance of life itself. The full moon is not just a teacher in the sky, it is a teacher within you. Its cycles are your cycles. Its light is your light. Its power is your birthright. And as you master your energy, as you embody your fullness, you become what you were always meant to be, a beacon in the darkness, a guide for others, a living, breathing miracle. You are the living moon. Rise, chosen one, your time is now.